If you look at the many extras for Ryza 1 DX alone, the DX episodes included from DLC and new content are enjoyable and mostly made with the intent that you'll play them after you finish the main story, as that's the way the DLC was originally rolled out. However, I wanted to play all the content that was new to me in Ryza DX sooner rather than later while still doing my DX Ryza playthrough, so I did my best to be careful and try to pin down where these DLCs and new episodes occur in the story so I could play them as I went. For anyone else wanting to do the same, here's my estimated timing for the episode, starting with Ryza 1 DX. The way I figured out these points is after the initial cutscene, you can see the characters' levels, and that gives you a good idea of where in the story you should be. Episode Tao and Lent start off at a fairly lower level, so are good to do either around or before you get Claudia. Once you get Leela, episode Claudia will make more sense as she's in it, and I feel the Moritz Island episode fits comfortably sometime after the full party is together, especially at a time you feel like you need a lighthearted break, with the party being pretty close to the level cap by then. The episode Empel and Leela episode, along with the new 1.5 story episode, are post-main stories, so you can leave those till the end and be ready for some epic boss battles, especially with DLC only with limited alchemy and equipment. Without DLC and only new episodes, the Ryza 2 and 3DX content is a little more simple to find the playtimes for. The new Empel and Leela episode in 2DX takes place just after Ryza and crew finish exploring the first proper ruin, and I appreciated playing till the end of that to make a perfect link to the story. In saying that, without spoiling things, some details as what Empel and Leela find likely make more sense later in the story after being refreshed on Ryza 2's second half, where Empel and Leela play a bigger role, so while I'm happy with the way I played, I'd maybe leave this until, without spoiling things, the story tone changes, and Empel and Leela step in if I was to do it again to have it as more of a flashback that links up to where the story is. Finally, for Ryza 3DX, while Ciri and Clifford's story takes place in a new part of the Claria region, it doesn't link up with Ryza's story, so I'd say it can be enjoyed at any time. I chose to play it after I finished Sardonica, and I'm happy with the way that time in 3DX made me familiar with the mechanics beforehand. However, it doesn't really reference Ryza 3's story much, aside from lore of the world, so I think you can enjoy this episode whenever you please, as long as you have knowledge of the pair from Ryza 2. What's your favorite Ryza extra episode, and did you play them before or after these DX versions? Let me know in the comments.